Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It, the show where we play every roguelike in history. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier,
I hate you.
my long-suffering friend and co-host, Moonpier. We're here to talk about week 2 of Griftlands. Um, my kid keeps asking me, Daddy, what's that game you're playing? And I said, it's Griftlands. She goes, I don't even know what that means. It's like, yeah, fair enough. How did your adventures in the Griftlands go this week?
Well, I found the boss that you were talking about last
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Rough.
so
That's rough stuff.
uh-huh. Good news is I did beat that boss, so that's good.
Wow, nice.
Uh-huh. Even better news is I got to the end of the next day and beat that boss too.
Whoa, nice.
So now I'm pretty sure again, my main complaint from last week is the main complaint I have this week, which is runs are too long.
Yeah, they are very long. Yeah.
I haven't finished a run yet.
Yeah.
But I'm now on my third day, and I'm pretty sure I'm at the point now where it's like, hey, do these missions to help this guy because you've got probably maybe 2 boss battles left.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I think one of the battles is the current boss battle to help the guy, and then after that, I'm probably going to go after Kashino or whatever their name is.
Mm-hmm. I think you're at the point the furthest point I have gotten in any of these runs, which is like, all right, I'm at day 3. Things are going pretty okay, but like all these battles are they're not ending really great.
In all honesty, like I think I made some very good choices in regards to my cards drafts. So like I've
Right.
got a lot of cards which buff you when you do something. So both my negotiation and my battle cards have got the when you improvise a card you get something. So
Right, right.
like I get those cards really early in the battle, and then whenever I improvise a card I get like +2 defense, or I do 2 damage or whatever.
Gotcha.
Um
That's a real good
because
build.
Yeah, because those buffs last as long in the negotiation stage. It's as long as the arguments are there, and in the battle stage, it's for the whole battle.
Wow.
But I'm also getting very good about using the Into the Breach like notifications of he is going to do 5 damage to this card that has 4
Mm-hmm.
defense. So
Right.
spend one of my cards to put 4 defense on that card, so that it only takes 1 damage at the end of the turn.
Gotcha.
So I can, because one of my favorite negotiation cards is Recall, which is every time you expend a card, you draw a card,
Yes. Yep.
and every time I use it, I get 2 of the Recall memories because it's an improved Recall. So I get 2 stacks, essentially 2 separate stacks of the thing.
Ah, okay.
So every time I expend a card, I draw 2, not 1,
Wow.
but 2. But the
Right.
best thing about that is it because of the amount of cards you have to discard at the end of your turn, it shuffles the deck back into your hands so quickly that you're always getting a card that you want relatively quick. Because it's
Yeah,
only like
because, like,
2 or 3 turns, and I'm shuffling my deck. 2 or 3 more turns, shuffling my
right,
entire
because the
deck.
deck only has like 20 or 30 cards in it. If you're spending one to pull 2 more, you're burning through that deck. Wow. Okay.
Hmm
Yeah, you've got a
So
great build going on.
it gives me a lot more options, like really quickly, especially because I've got a fair few upgrades where when those cards are improvised, they cost me nothing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like I'll do like an improvised cost nothing, use that one, it gets expended, I draw more too, but because I drew 2 more, that cost nothing, and then I
Right.
throw that one out, and then it costs nothing, and it's
It's a
just like,
Magic the Gathering parody video where it's like, I lay this card down, which lays 6 more down. It's like,
yes,
yeah.
100%. It's getting a little bit insane. Like
Mm.
I think in my hand, and I didn't realize it did this, but as long as you don't it doesn't go into your discard pile, that erupt card in negotiations,
Mm.
it's unplayable. But if you play like 4 of the red negotiation cards in one turn, it deploys that card as
Oh,
long as
okay.
it is either in your hand or in your deck on the left.
Mm.
If you've discarded it, it doesn't do it, but if it's on the left or in your hand, it does it. So I'll get like 4 red cards. I'll just throw them out, and then one erupt card in my hand will play, and one erupt card in my deck will play,
Oh, jeez.
and it just throw it out tons of damage. Like I killed somebody, and everybody hates me now from the
Right.
Avalon Tree because I killed a bunch of people because I had to. It was part
Right.
of the mission. And there was one dude who got, I think it was plus 40 resolve. So I
Mm.
went into a negotiation with him, and I had 29 resolve, and he had 62 resolve.
Oh, wow.
At no point in that negotiation was I ever threatened, and it only took me like 7 turns to beat him.
Jeez. Just unstoppable at this point.
It feels that way. I'm
Yeah.
sure someone will slap me down real quick about it,
Sure,
but
yeah.
it definitely feels that way at the moment.
Yeah. Man. Pretty
I'm
great.
I'm liking it so far. Like I hate how long the runs are,
Yeah.
but I am liking it so far. And I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what that second person's going to play like, because it's 3 different campaigns essentially. So yay!
Well, good news is I started the second character this week. Because
Ooh,
I had him unlocked. I actually unlocked the third character as part of the second character's run. But I realized I hadn't started as him yet, and I was like, all right, I have a brand new run going as the first lady. So let me just start a new one for the guy. And it actually, all 3 campaigns are their own save. So you can run 3 independent campaigns at the same time, which is actually pretty nice. His whole thing is he has a coin that he flips, and it lands on either heads or snails, which is a really great in-universe thing. And depending on what it lands on, it either buffs your cards for negotiation or in battle, or debuffs the enemy. So, like, maybe if you
okay.
flip and land on heads, maybe you get yourself a little bit more defense in, conversation or battle. If you land on snails, maybe it does 3 damage to a random enemy or one of their conversation items. It seems pretty interesting so far. The game very clearly tells you need to master the gambling system because it is your key to victory. The other thing it tells you that I haven't run into anything super interesting with this yet is you're encouraged to trade your coin for better ones. You can only hold one at a time, but
Okay.
each one of the different coins does something different on heads or snails. The other ones that I've run into, there's like a guy in, whatever the bar is you start in. This map is totally different at like a totally different time than the other campaign. Like there's far more machinery, less beasts. It's kind of an
Okay.
interesting thing. But there's a guy in the inn that says like, "Oh man, I love your coin. I collect those. I'd love to trade your coin for one of these I have." And all the ones you have seems fine, but it doesn't seem like it's I'm not racing out to say like, "Oh yeah, that one's really good. I'm going to trade out for that one because that's going to improve my whole thing." I'm not entirely sure what I gain from doing that quite yet. But so far, I was having a really good run. I just remembered I finished the run this morning with me dying. At the end of day 3, I believe, his runs are really interesting because he's kind of like working 2 groups against each other and then kind of writing his research and writing his actions to another group that he's actually working for. It's like a real Revolver Ocelot triple agent thing.
Yeah.
I was doing really well, mainly focusing on conversation or like negotiation battles over the other one. He's pretty okay fighting, but he's very clearly much better at negotiation. So I was a very similar position that you were in for the run you're on right now, which is like, oh, I have 20 resolve. This guy has 45. I'm definitely going to beat him no matter what. Um, I did really, really well up until I got to the first boss fight. I think it's at the end of day 3, where it was me and my robot dog. We had full health, but the boss had 140 health. And after you damage it for a while, it puts up a shield and brings out a bunch of robot dogs, which only had like 8 or 10 health or something. But you have to beat all those robot dogs to do damage to the boss.
Okay.
One of my biggest problems with this game is whenever you have somebody in your party that isn't you, so you have no direct control over them, they seem to spend the first 3 or 4 turns just defending.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do that. I need you to attack. I just fought this battle where it was me, my robot dog, and like a guy I had convinced to come fight these malfunctioning robot dogs.
Hmm.
Both of them were spending the entire fight just defending when I was fighting 10 robot dogs and each one of them only had 8 health. We could have finished this fight super quickly if you guys had just fought anything. Like, literally anything on the field.
Yep.
So that is really, it's like Persona 3 levels of frustrating where it's like, why would you do that? That doesn't do anything. But yeah, this other character so far seems pretty interesting. I finished a run and got like 2300 XP, which got me 2.5 levels for him. So I just unlocked like 15 more cards, like a bunch more of those implants that you get at kind of important portions of the story. So
Yeah.
I'm
Which are,
excited
are
to go
pretty
back in.
great. Like
Hmm.
like those can be super game changers. Like, but you've got to be very careful about your selection because, like, I noticed there's one there that was it was like you do like 2 bonus damage at every combat turn, but you take 2 damage at the end of your turn every time
Yeah,
you're in combat. I was like, go away, no.
yeah. It's like I feel like I'm never that strong to like end a battle in like 2 turns. Because maybe if
Uh-huh.
you can do that, that would make sense. But the ones you get from killing bosses are usually way better because those usually don't have the downsides to them. But
Yeah.
that's another cool system too. Like there's a lot of cool systems in there. It's just it's a very long game. Like each run is, I think each run because it's so story and dialogue focused, they're trying to tell these longer form stories, and I think that does
Mhm.
make each one of these runs long, but it does make them really long, which
Yep.
is fine. But we're only here for a month, so like,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're only here for a month and we have limited time and it's getting towards the end of the year and oh my word, Game of the Year is legitimately crawling down upon us.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts here for Griftlands Week 2?
I think it's same as last time, to be honest. Like, I still love the art style. I still
Yep.
love the way it plays.
Yep.
Like, I will give them full credit for essentially making 2 different deck building games in one.
Right. Right. Like two totally different battle systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird, but it's fine. I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
But so far, it is genuinely fun so far. I am enjoying it. It is good to see?
We'll
Question
see.
mark?
We'll see if we finish a run by the end of the month.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
main concern.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.